going on, guys? This is all from TrueTech, and we all already know that the Zenfone lineup is oversaturated with a plethora of Zenphones already, and Asus brings another addition to the 2016 kickers, the Zenfone 3S Max. So without any further ado, let's find out if the Zenfone 3S Max provides any significance to the Zenfone lineup of 2017. Starting off with the design, the Zenfone 3S Max actually amazes me with its design. The minimal turn that Asus has taken with this phone simply makes it look more adorable. The phone surely adapts design from other aluminum unibody phones available at this price range, such as the Redmi Note 4 or the Honor 6X. However, what amazes me is that Asus managed to fit a massive battery without adding extra bulk. But sadly, the Zenfone 3S Max fails to compete against other phones at this price segment. On the front of the phone, we have a 720p HD screen with 2.5D curved glass, which is a little disappointing considering the price tag of the phone, which is $14,999 or $225. But what I love about this screen is the vivid colors. It just looks amazing. Moreover, the phone provides a rare breed of 5.2-inch screens that are pretty comfortable to use. But if you are like me and love phones with larger display, well, look somewhere else. Below the screen is a clickable home button with a fingerprint sensor. However, it's not an active fingerprint sensor, which means you'll have to wake your phone before actually using your fingerprint to unlock it. And if that wasn't disappointing enough, Asus has switched to on-screen buttons. While that may not be a concern for many, but let me explain. The phone has a physical home button and also a software home button, which means you have double the bezel, reducing your screen usability. What's more, the missing capacitive keys already make the physical home button difficult to use, as we humans are more aligned to use traditional capacitive keys or software keys. The merger of both provided here surely has more applications, but is difficult to get used to. At least that's what I felt. Anyway, moving ahead, on the right of the phone, you'll find the volume rockers and the power button, and these buttons are super clicky. I always enjoy the feel of the buttons that Asus bestows in their phones, and the extra texture provided on the power button helps me recognize it without even looking at it. Pretty nifty. Moving to the back of the phone, there's a tiny camera hump, which isn't a hindrance, the dual tone LED flash, and there isn't any laser autofocus present. Below the camera to the center of the phone lays the Asus branding. Then after at the bottom lays what I like to call the unibody breaker plastic chin. That isn't so notable on the texture side. Moving on, the left of the phone is deserted. All that can be found here is the SIM card tray. And on the bottom of the phone are the speaker grills and micro USB charging port. And it's 2017, guys. It's necessary to mention that the phone sports a headphone jack on the top. Overall, though this design may not look any special on the camera, I really like it in real life. And it's only natural that you might have different viewpoints and different opinions about it. And I would like to know them. So do share your thoughts in the comment section below. Coming to the performance of the phone, the Zenfone 3S Max sports a 3GB RAM, which is a downgrade from the Asus Zenfone 3 Max ZC553KL, which I reviewed a while ago. Not only that, the Zenfone 3S Max also features a MediaTek MT6750 octa-core 1.5GHz Cortex A53 chipset with a Mali T860 MP2 GPU, which will actually run you short on performance. The phone glides through day-to-day or moderate usage, which is like using social networks, viewing YouTube videos, and casual browsing. These things generally do not have any major hiccups, just a few here and there. The 3GB RAM actually handles the multitasking pretty well, but with more and more apps running, the SoC turns out to be a hold up, and well, with the MediaTek chipset, I didn't expect much either. After all, I'm a power user, and for me the performance wasn't anything special for this price bracket, it was just middle of the road. The performance is not the selling point of this device anyway. Coming to what it specializes in, the battery life. What really amazes me is that Asus managed to fit a 5000 mAh battery, which is a huge number in such a small form factor. Combined with Android Nougat's dose feature over day-to-day moderate usage, the battery life was very good, lasting me for 1.5 days or 2 days on an average. Also, at the end of almost every day, I would see a reduction of around 30 to 40% of battery life with moderate usage and around 45 to 60 on heavy usage, which compared to any other phone is pretty decent. Next, let's talk about the camera. The camera on this phone, according to me, is all barks and no bite. It's a 13-megapixel sensor with f2.0 aperture, face detection autofocus, and a dual-tone LED flash. And here's another sacrifice you're making from the original Zenfone 3 Max: missing laser autofocus and a less sharper camera. Also, the Zenfone 3S Max doesn't feature 4K recording. It maxes out at 1080p 30fps video. The photos produced on this device are usually a hit or a miss, and for the most part, nothing to be tickled pink. Images lack sharpness mess and turn out soft. Talking of the dynamic range, unlike other Zenfones, it's below average too. The colors are quite accurate except a few instances. Coming to indoor lighting conditions, a petty bit of noise starts to seep in. Images turn out even softer and the colors are lost. Also, on the second try you can see here, the lack of OIS is very evident. Thereafter, let's talk about low lighting performance. And this part has been the most confusing. A lot of times there's a plethora of noise and the images turn out to be shaky due to the lack of OIS. Nevertheless, the color reproduction is maintained to my surprise, but it isn't the best. Moving on, as you can see, the HDR mode doesn't do any justice to the low light shots. However, Asus has included a low light mode, which does a great job at producing a good image, but all the sharpness is lost. Also, the camera screws up real bad sometimes, and every so often, it takes some of the best low lighting shots I've ever seen. But let me tell you, this happens only occasionally. Coming to the front-facing camera, it's pretty similar to the Zenfone 3 Max's selfie shooter. The selfies turn out to be a tad bit softer and more richer in color. If you wish to learn more, check out my Zenfone 3 Max review, for which a card should pop up right now. And the last parameter to consider is the software. The Zenfone 3S Max comes with Android 7.0 Nougat topped by Asus Zen UI, which hasn't changed a lot compared to previous phones, but I really love the increased Gaussian blur effects. However, the skin is still too heavy and turns out that it bottlenecks the performance. Apart from that, the Doze feature does help out to save the battery life, and that's pretty much it for the software side. Well, that's it for this review, guys. Thanks for hanging out till the end of this video. I really enjoyed your company and I hope you enjoyed mine too. Make sure to make it worth my efforts by leaving a like on this video and also comment and share. And by the way, if you still want to buy this phone, I have the best buy links in the description box below. Also, if you wish to learn about this device in detail, check out my full in-depth review on TrueTech.net. A card should pop up right now and you can find the link in the description box below. You can also find the high-res camera photos over there in the article. So do make sure to check it out, and thanks for watching. Catch you guys in the next video.